Hi there, thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean, this is Woodwork Journey, and today we're going to be fixing an annoyance that I've had with the Evolution table saw, the R255TBL, whatever it is, the newer version of the Evolution table saw that I reviewed a little while ago. There's one thing that does frustrate me, so let's get into fixing that. The thing that bothers me is this, and this is the riving knife. Now, if you watched my review, you may remember that part of the review I said I don't understand why the manual suggested that this, you could drop it down. And anyway, I talked to Evolution about that, and apparently that was for other countries. In the UK, this one doesn't drop down, and the reason for that is because it allegedly encourages people to continue to use this. However, my problem is that I do a lot of kind of not completely through cuts, and so I have to take this off in order to do that. Then it's either something that I lose or I put to one side, or I think, oh, I'll just do a quick cut, and I forget to put the riving knife back on. Now, arguably, this is one of the biggest safety factors of a table saw. So never ever cut without a riving knife, or do a through cut without a riving knife. But yeah, today I need to fix that because Evolution are coming out with one of their own of these, a shark fin design that goes to the same height as the blade, but I'm going to make one because I haven't got time to mess about. The eagle-eyed among you will see that I'm not using the regular throat plate as well. I'm making this zero clearance one, and I'm 3D printing it, and I've been working on a bunch of designs to keep it nice and stable so it doesn't flex when you're doing stuff. But anyway, let's forget that for the moment. And what we're going to do is I'm going to raise this up, and so the blade is just poking through the top. Just the top of one of the carbide tips is breaking through the top. Then I'm going to use a pencil. If you've got another way of doing it, that would be great as well. But a pencil will mark a line on the black riving knife. So then when we rise it up, we should see that there's a line there. Now, I did have some really old blades, but I've just found this one. This is an old Excalibur blade that I don't use anymore. This is about, it's nearly 2 mil wide, this bad boy. So yeah, that's what we're going with there. Now the blade, not the carbide, is roughly the same on this. Hopefully I've got the measurements on camera, but yeah, we're roughly the same, so I'm okay with that. And that's what you want. Apparently, the riving knife needs to be thinner than the carbide tips, but ideally slightly thicker than the blade itself. So that's from the research that I've done. But please, please, please do make your own. Now then, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and arrange this so I can get the bottom section fully on, and try and reduce the hardened steel is around the outside. This should be soft metal steel, which will expand and contract when it's working. So I'm hoping that the inner portion will be easy to cut with a grinder. So what I've got there is, this is the line that we marked out a little while ago, and I've got all of the markings that I need to go with, just like that. So hopefully you can just about see that this is the design. Hopefully that'll be somewhat noticeable, but I'm going to cut that out with the grinder. Okay, so I've got this clamped down, I've marked a hole. I'm going to go for a small drill first, but this does have to be clamped down. Don't try and do this by holding it, because if that spins round, that's going to take your finger off. I have got some cutting compound somewhere, but can't find it. So today I'm just going to use WD-40 and let's get going. There we go, those are the pilot holes done. So now I'm just going to drill bigger holes. That's going to sort out the middle section and the where it gets positioned. So I'll do that off camera, but you've seen what I do. We'll just carry on doing that. And make sure that you do use some kind of lubricant, because heat is the enemy of sharpness. And if this starts smoking too much, then it removes the hardened steel of the drill bit and it'll go blunt. So I did get it a little bit hot there, as you can see. So that drill bit's probably knackered, but I got angry. So I'm now just cleaning it up to clean up any blowout. And then we can have a test fit. Right, I did just give it a quick test fit, and this is just a little bit too thin for what I need it to do. It doesn't quite go over the thing. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a file down just to make this gap a little bit bigger. Okay, so we've done some bits and bobs to try and sort that out, and now I think we are, yeah, that is going down when it comes to the riving knife, so that's absolutely fine. Nice and solid, still a bit hot, but nice and solid, and this blade really needs a clean. But anyway, now to tidy it up. Bit of WD-40 degreaser, because we are going to give it a bit of a spray. The reason I'm going to spray it is because I'm just going to add just a little bit extra thickness to it, rather than just the metal. That way, it's definitely sort of just a touch thicker than the blade, but not as thick as the teeth. I was going to prime it, but I think I'm just going to use this Genelite stuff. I've used it before and I think it's really, really good. We are now 2 days later because I was a bit busy doing something else yesterday, but we are installed and we're working and everything is all good. Let me show you, and I'll also tell you about some stuff that I would do differently if I did it again. I think this probably deserves some ethereal music or something, but here we go. Oh, did you see that? Look, look, look. Hopefully it's focusing in, but now we're talking. Oh, and the angels rejoiced. There was a bit of dust on there for that one. Now then, there's a couple of things that I did learn. The steel of the blade, the centre part, wasn't as soft as I expected. And that meant when I was drilling the hole, I sort of forced my way through things, which did put a little bit of a bend in the metal, which was a bugger to get out because it's the hardened steel. So yeah, that was a bit problematic. If I was doing it again, next time what I'd do is I'd get the old blowtorch out and anneal the metal to make it a little bit softer again, and that would allow me to drill through stuff and shape it and cut it, in fact, a lot easier than it was. However, we did it. It's there, it's working, it's now straight, it's in line with the blade. I think one thing that I might think about doing at some point is putting a chamfer on the inside of things, because especially with this Evolution blade, this is the teeth on this multi-use blade are quite thin, and so it would make sense really to kind of have that separate the wood sort of a little bit more confidently as it goes past the blade. But other than that, I think we're all golden. Now then, I do have to reiterate, you should not ever mess about with the safety gear that you have on your table saw or any tool, to be honest with you. However, this is what I'm doing. This is the realistic stuff in my workshop. I don't tend to use the hood over the top of it. I don't use it for dust collection. I don't really use it for anything at all. And so the worst thing for me is taking a riving knife on and off, because I'm forgetful and dodgy person. So having this means it can be permanently installed. I can do non-through cuts, not have a problem. I can put a jig on here, I can put a cross-cut jig or whatever else, and we're all absolutely golden, and that makes me happy. If you're not experienced with table saws, this is not something that you should try. And even if you are, you know, you really have to think about whether this is something that you should do. But for my money, I like this because there's more heft behind the blade. If Evolution are releasing the sort of the shark fin style, then that's a lot sort of thinner going around here. So if you've got stuff coming to the top of the blade, I don't know if that's really ideal or not, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I like this. It's a hunk of metal. It's really solid. I did try 3D printing one. I made one out of brass. I tried doing a whole bunch of things, but this I think has been the safest way forward. Always check your facts and figures. Don't go on just what I've said. This is what I've done, and this video is purely to sort of give you an indication how I've approached things. And in no way is it a tutorial for you to go off and do the same. But otherwise, let me know what you think. I've done a few other bits and bobs for this while I've been in the process. I made a little jig for a gauge, which you can get cheap on Amazon, to make sure that the blade and the fence are dead straight and in line with your miter slots. If you want to know about that, let me know. If you want to know about the zero clearance throat plate that I've made, let me know about that. And otherwise, I'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Bye-bye.